Back on the bell, Super Bowl 59 this Sunday, as you know. CNBC Sports' Alex Sherman in New Orleans, as you can see. And he did catch up with the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs and joins us now with the highlights. Alex?
You know, I asked the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, Clark Hunt, if he was bored by all of this because the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl seemingly every year, 5 out of the last 6 years. He said no, he's still appreciative. But he's also the chairman of the NFL Finance Committee. And this past season, the NFL adopted a policy to allow teams to sell up to 10% of their team ownership to private equity. So I asked Clark Hunt, would you consider selling 10% of the Chiefs to private equity? Here's what he had to say.
We had 2 transactions that took place before year end that included private equity. I know that there are several other teams out there exploring potentially bringing in a private equity partner. We think it's a great new source of capital for the league. It'll create flexibility for owners who have a need from a liquidity standpoint or have a need from a capital investment standpoint like a stadium.
Would you ever consider selling 10%?
Yeah, I won't say never. It's not something our family is focused on right now, but I do think just having more options from a liquidity standpoint is beneficial to everybody, including the Kansas City Chiefs.
So reading between the lines, another thing we talked about was the Kansas City Chiefs stadium situation. The Chiefs play in Arrowhead Stadium. It's one of the oldest NFL stadiums. It's, of course, beloved by Chief fans, but they're going to need a renovation at some point and or perhaps even build a new stadium. That, I think, might be the time when the Chiefs would look to sell a stake to private equity because it will be a liquidity event that the organization may need.
Yeah. Theoretically, too, I mean, if any franchise was going to be able to get buy-in, so to speak, from the public for at least a public-private partnership in a stadium, that would be one of the markets I would look to first.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, there's 2 avenues they can go. They can either refurbish Arrowhead, which I think would cost about $800 million, or they can build a new stadium, which, to your point, usually costs billions and billions of dollars. But the Chiefs, perhaps, interestingly, you may not expect this, we're only ranked 18th in CNBC's valuation list that came out in September. So all this winning from the Chiefs, they're still only the 18th most valuable NFL franchise. And that, of course, has a lot to do with the stadium, with an old stadium. So there's this push-pull of, like, fans are not going to want to let go of Arrowhead because it's such a home field advantage for the Chiefs. It's one of the loudest, if not the loudest, stadium in the NFL. So fans love it. But, you know, it does keep the valuation down on the Chiefs. Now, granted, almost all of these owners are billionaires, so, you know, what's another billion here or there? But it does, in fact, weigh into considerations of do these teams decide to keep their old stadium or try to buy a new one?
Yeah, good stuff. Keep bringing that to us as well. Alex, appreciate you. Thank you. Alex Sherman down in New Orleans for us.